Welcome to the NDE Insight channel. Today, we'll explore the near-death experience of Melvin-Thomas Benedict, author of Journey Through the Light and Back. Facing advanced brain cancer, he passed away for 90 minutes in 1982. Miraculously, he returned to life, completely healed. Melvin's journey during his near-death experience led him through various realms of consciousness, notably including a vividly described journey through hellish consciousness and his conversation with God. It's a truly remarkable account. Let's dive in.
I found myself back in my room, hovering over my body. I watched as my body lay dying. All life rapidly left it, and I felt myself being drawn away like steam. I was pulled into a dense darkness, a deep forest of intertwined shadows that sought to grasp and ensnare me. These dark shadows felt incredibly sticky and somewhat coarse. It was like one arm grabbing onto another and refusing to let go. The more I struggled, the tighter the shadows clung to me. It was a strange, sticky sensation. Now I know that all the issues in my life were pushing back against me. All my demons, fears, abandonment, betrayal, worthlessness, loneliness, pain, and despair surged from all directions, sticking to me, trying to engulf me like cold, black sticky fire. It felt awful. Though I didn't consider myself a believer at the time, deep within my soul, I cried out, "God, please help me." Around this time, scenes from my life began to surround me, like small inset movies. Every story or event was fully displayed. As these scenes played out, I reconnected with many things from my life that I had either forgotten or suppressed. Some things I didn't want to remember, or I was too young to understand. I saw how much my mother hoped for me, and how she prayed for a child to come into her life before she became pregnant. I was surprised to see her praying for me. Inside her womb, I saw that because my body was made up of hers, I was a part of her love, fear, and life issues. Before I started school, my mother divorced my biological father. I saw some things about him that I had never seen before, things my mother had never told me. She hadn't treated me badly like many divorced mothers do to their children, but I saw some things that made my skin crawl. My father had hit her multiple times while she was pregnant. When he hit her, especially her belly, I felt the fetus's inner turmoil. It sounded and felt like thunder. I didn't know how others dealt with it, but I was furious with my father. In those arguments, I was programmed to mistrust men, thinking the world was a dangerous place and love was painful. I didn't realize it then, but my worldview was killing me. I was a Cold War casualty, a frightened casualty. I believed in the unfortunate messages the media reported during my upbringing. Later, I saw a satellite image released by an ecological organization likening the city of Los Angeles to a cancer cell. After that, I began to see all humans as cancer ravaging the earth, and I lost all hope for humanity. I believed humans were a cancer, and I acted accordingly. I was diagnosed with advanced brain cancer. I saw that everything we do and think affects many others around us, like ripples in a pond, touching and affecting far more others than we imagine. The last few years of my life were slowly fading away as my body lay there. At some point, I cried out, "Enough! Enough! Where am I?" Everything stopped, and the shadows began to close in tighter. I felt very lonely and cold. I saw the steam no longer rising from my body. This made me feel sad and afraid. I realized I must be dying or already dead. Then I saw a faint light in the distance. I didn't know why, but I wanted to go there. It felt enticing, like the arms of your ideal parents. I tried to reach the light, but to no avail. I couldn't move. I wanted to go there more than anything in my life, but it remained distant, while the cold flames of shadow surged around me. Now, completely consumed by the shadows, I fell into what I can only call hell. What a terrifying descent it was. Like sinking into a suffocating black hole. This was my personal hell. But there were millions of others around me, each trapped in their own hell, suffering in various ways. My pain and fear were magnified a million times. I cannot and do not want to further describe this. Suffice it to say, it's the eternal suffering version of each person. I also saw that in every other hell around me, there was a little light, but no one noticed it. We were all consumed by our own fears, sorrows, losses, despair, anger, and so on. Being isolated by our own pain was the darkest part of this hell for me. Yet, around me, there were millions of others, each trapped in their own personal hell. Amidst all my suffering, I remember that when I called out for light, it grew brighter. I earnestly cried out, "Please help me. Please, please help me." The more I willed the light, the brighter and stronger it became. The only way out of this place is through the light. I focused all my energy, calling out to the light with every atom, without words, only with emotion and energy. Suddenly, everything stopped. The intensity of the light continued to grow until I felt the light piercing through me, through my heart, hands, and feet, then through my head and eyes, empowering me. Then, a golden beam of light in the shape of a halo emerged from the light. As it drew closer, I could see it was a towering golden angel. I had always believed angels existed only in fairy tales, but before me was the most beautiful angel. I felt the love emanating from this presence. Unsure of what to do, I asked, "Are you the angel of death?" "There is no death, only eternal life," the angel replied. "Then who are you? Can you save me, please?" I pleaded. "I am your guardian angel, your higher self, your oversoul," the angel answered. "I have been with you throughout your life." Hearing this, I realized my own other part, a larger, higher part that I glimpsed only occasionally in childhood and in rare dreams throughout my life. I didn't understand if this was my larger part, oversoul, or the source of inspiration. I cried, "Where am I? Am I in hell? Can you save me from suffering, or must I stay here forever? What have I done to deserve this hell?" Then I was enveloped in the golden sparkling dress of the angel. From inside, it seemed transparent. "Review your life again," the angel said. I began to slowly rotate within the angel's dress, once again seeing the demons, shadows, and icy sticky flames of my life clawing at the dress around me. However, this time, I was protected within the angel's dress, able to fearlessly witness the shadows. The angel explained to me that I was trapped in my own negative life issues, which had consumed me, not only here, but throughout my entire life. Then I realized that hell is a state of consciousness, very real, existing both in life and in what we call death. Consciousness survives death. Individuals carry their issues, both positive and negative, to the other side. "As above, so below," the angel said. "Then, no soul is created to suffer." "Then why do I suffer?" I asked. "Ignorance and fear, fear of existence," the angel replied. "Look, I was shown with exquisite detail more aspects of my life. I realized how ignorant I was, not knowing how every aspect of life weaves into a tapestry that can be woven, unraveled, and rewoven, with every action, every thread having a reason and a purpose. I came into this world with fear and anger. I saw the life of my biological father, experienced his anger, and understood why he became who he was. I could see my mother's fear for survival in the hands of her stepmother, later in the hands of my father. It was her program or life pattern. I could see and feel how fear and ignorance dominate the lives of so many. For the first time, I began to see why I became who I am now. Can I leave this place? "I don't want to stay here anymore," I asked. Suddenly, everything stopped and deep silence surrounded me, except for faint whispers. I waited, seemingly forever, for an answer. "This is your life," the angel whispered into my right ear. "What do you truly want?" "I want to leave, please," I replied. "Then let go of your negative life issues." "What do you mean? How do I do that?" "I'm willing to do anything," I said. "Now listen to me. You have the power. You've always had the power to wait within you for freedom," the angel said. "But how?" I asked. Forgive all your life issues. Forgive every person and everything in your life. Fear is the only hell, the angel said. Love your life, every person and everything. No longer be afraid. At that moment, I faced my life head-on, and with an unprecedented trust in life, I said and meant, I love my life, all of it. I surrendered. What an incredible release it was. Loving my life freed me from hell. Your time has come. You can leave. You always could, the angel said. Now, reach out, come. I reached out to the angel emotionally. I could see hundreds of thousands of souls still trapped in their own private hells. Most of them were completely consumed by the wounds they suffered or created in life. I asked, why can't these souls be free? They are already free, the angel replied. They've trapped themselves in negative patterns, memories, biases, and fears. In the place you want to go, these negative qualities don't exist. I was protected by the angel as we traversed the realms of this hellish consciousness at the speed of light. I shouted to others, call for light, call for light. You can leave this place anytime. I kept shouting, call for light, call for light. You can leave, you can leave. You know, many indeed called for light, and many souls left hell together. So I left hell with the angel, passing through several other realms, like varying degrees of light and darkness, ultimately breaking free from the darkness. The angel turned back into a golden halo, turning into a beautiful tunnel made of colorful halos. I had never seen such colors. As I flew towards the tunnel of light, faster and faster, I noticed a second light rising. It was the tiny light I saw in the shadows of hell, now growing larger with this light, and I wanted to move towards it faster. Though I felt great, I thought, what will happen in that light? So I asked, please wait, wait. Surprisingly, I stopped, completely stopped. Everything stopped. Suddenly, I heard a loud yes, as if saying, yes, what is your wish? I want to think again for a minute about what all this is, I said. All right, was the simple reply. I paused for a moment, as if just a moment. I thought, what is this? Once I pondered this question, it had an answer. This is your life and rebirth. You're fully interactive, the angel said. I immediately understood what that meant. Life is an interactive experience. What we call death is as interactive as life. It was a fantastic realization. Imagine, John Lennon was right. And now? I asked. What do you most desire? Came the answer. Take me to see God, I said without hesitation. I immediately found myself before a magnificent light, brighter than a million suns. It was like an endless, vast ocean of light of love. This was the light at the end of the tunnel, permeating the essence of my soul. I felt illuminated, fully aware of every moment. I was illuminated by the light of love. I asked the light in absolute awe, "Are you God?" "Who and what is not God?" the light whispered. It felt like this light knew me, like a parent knows a child. I realized that this light was trying to tell me something very important in a way that I would understand on every level of my being. It was the idea that if I tried to name who or what the concept of God is, I would have to name everything in the universe, and that would take forever. In that instance, I understood that the entire universe is the body of God. There is nothing real or imagined that is not God's stuff. Then a most unbelievable thought occurred to me. If everything is God, then I must be a direct part of God. At that moment, I experienced a ray of light in my heart that was like rolling thunder through my being. It was the I am that which is in all. I was truly amazed by this thought and asked the light, "How can this be? I am so weak and unworthy. I am like a piece of dust floating in the air. My life doesn't amount to anything. I have never done anything important with my life. I have wasted my life. What possible good am I to the universe?" The light whispered, "Oh, beautiful human, you are the human part of God. Everything you do is of universal importance. You have made your way from the beginning of time to this moment. Your life increases the whole of the universe, and you have changed the universe just by being you. No matter how low or how high, No matter how well remembered or forgotten, no matter how diseased or how excellent, you personally have expanded the all in all. Without your life, the universe would be diminished in so many ways. I was so humbled by this revelation that we mere mortal humans can be of any importance to this great universe. To actually be the human part of God is a blessing beyond measure. I realized that I was interacting with a matrix of unimaginable superconsciousness, and that this was a very real dimension of the most magnificent universal life energy. I felt immersed in the purest love and the most complete non-judgment and total acceptance I have ever known. This light transformed me from a being who had been completely self-centered and smothered by the worldly pressures of survival, judgment, petty thoughts, fear, and self-induced blindness. I was transformed from feeling worthless and mundane to experiencing the realization of my sacred nature. To be accepted and loved in that way is beyond simple words. The instant the light awakens within you, alive or dead, you will never forget it and you will never be the same again. Everyone's time to awaken comes when they are ready. It comes in the blinking of an eye, and when you may least expect it. My experience with the light showed me all the good in this world that I was not seeing and receiving. It was the gift of deep hope and a new view of life that I could believe in. I was shown that we do survive death, and we have many lives that add up to a greater life, greater than we can imagine. I believe that humanity is so close to becoming the new creation that is talked about in legend and prophecy. All the hard work, blood, sweat, and tears of mankind have not been wasted. Nothing has been lost and everything has been gained in our walkabout or journey through this brilliant universe. We may think of ourselves as ugly caterpillars in the jungle, but we are about to become wonderful butterflies in the garden. This universe loves us all beyond our wildest dreams.